What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Danny Sheehan just dropped a bombshell on a recent podcast interview he did. I've got all the details. Let's jump in. You don't want to miss this. Please hit that like button, Vetters. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week about the UFO phenomena, and I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Now, before we get to this clip of Danny Sheehan, I want to share an interview I did on another podcast, a brand new podcast that's just come out called Burbs Bros. Okay, it stars two comedians, Dan St. Germain and Sean Donnelly. They are hilarious. Okay, two stand-up comedians taking on the UFO phenomena. I had an absolute blast. I laughed my ass off, and it was so much fun. I'll put a link down in the description so you can go check out this interview I did with them. And here's a short clip. I tell people all the time, I look at this as entertainment for me. This is an entertainment thing for me to look at this, how it goes. And the moment things become very real, like some people can believe so deeply in this. I had someone one time who was, quote, trying to give me information. I'm talking to him on the phone, and they're wanting to build a relationship with me. And I'm just like, telling them, this is not me. I don't do that. I don't want nothing to do with it. And they're telling me how seriously they take this topic. And this is someone very well connected who y'all would know. Okay. They're telling me how serious they take this topic. They would die for it. They're willing to die for this. And I said, let me stop you right there. I am not willing to die for this. I said, I make YouTube videos. Like, I am not willing to die for this. We have different motivations, intentions here.
You're like, if you pay me enough money, I will go away.
Yeah, exactly.
I am the most compromised person you're ever going to meet.
Yeah, bring that money. And that's a true story, and I told many other stories on there, and we just had a great conversation. What I like about Dan and Sean joining the conversation is the levity they bring to the discussion, right? We need to laugh about some of this stuff. So, like, being able to laugh and make jokes and talk about the topic, to me, is the trifecta. It's like, it's everything I want in the topic, because I love laughing and I want to be able to do that. And sometimes, most of the time, people take this so seriously, like I demonstrated in my clip there, right? People are willing to die for this. It's like, a lot of us are not. Most of us just want to talk, have some fun, and discuss the topic, and Burbs Bros does that absolutely so beautifully. So they're not only two great stand-up comedians, but now they're tackling this topic. So, and they've got some amazing interviews on there besides mine. Mine's probably the best they've done, but they've got some other ones, Avi Loeb's and things like that, whatever, Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's move on to this Danny Sheehan clip. Again, link in the description to my interview on Burbs Bros. Go check it out. So Danny Sheehan went on a podcast called Total Disclosure. And actually, I think I got to see this interview being filmed, because it was filmed at Contact in the Desert and in one of the media rooms. I might have seen this being filmed. I met the gentleman who runs this channel in the back rooms there, and he was doing interviews, and this was one of them. And he did get Danny to talk about something that I find very, very, very interesting. Let's roll the clip, and then I'll meet you guys on the other side, and we'll talk about it.
And one of the biggest things that, aside from the huge criminality, the others, whatever they are, whoever they are, have clearly shown a tremendous amount of restraint, because, like you said, what they're committing is acts of war, and they're entering us into a potential.
You mean our people? Our people are doing that. Yes,
they're potentially
against them,
entering us into an interplanetary war with a non-human intelligence without the public's consent. Or, we saw how that happened with what happens with Vietnam, when the public doesn't want to go to war with someone.
That's right. That's right. And so in this particular case, they're lying. They're doing it in secret.
You're right.
At least everybody knew that the Vietnam War was going on.
They could protest.
So we could get organized to try to protest against it. But right now, they're lying to Congress and lying to everybody, saying, no, there's no such thing happening. We don't know what you're talking about. but it's all being done in secret. And so what we need to do is we need to get this revealed first. And that's why the disclosure is the first step. Okay.
Admission.
At the same time, we'll be working, in the Institute to develop the alternative policies and structures that we need to put in place to absorb all this information. We need to be prepared, for example, for a completely new alternative energy source that it may well replace fossil fuels entirely.
Overnight.
So the entire petroleum industry is going to go flat on their butt, and what we have to do is we have to get prepared for that, because we have a petroleum dollar. The American dollar is rooted in the value of a 50-gallon drum of oil. Okay, people aren't aware of this, but so there's a lot of things that need to get done to prepare for a smooth transition, a soft landing for this particular process to take place. But the statute is proposing doing this over a 7-year period.
Right.
So what we want to do is get this started, like right now in 2025. So by the time we get to 2030, 2032, we'll have this process in place so that we can make this transition. That's what the New Paradigm Institute is all about.
So this is an interesting concept, right? The idea that basically humans are engaging in war with the others, aliens. Let's be real. That's what we're talking about. Aliens. Okay. Certain human beings on this planet are engaging with aliens in a war. And the comparison to Vietnam is a great comparison, right? Because, especially America's war with Vietnam, because like Danny said, this war is being done in secret. The alien-human war is being done in secret. The Vietnam War was public, so people could protest it. But how do people protest this war? You can't, because there's not even proof that it's even happening, right? Which is, I mean, I guess if you're running the program, this is exactly what you want, right? What's that quote from Usual Suspects? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. That's it. The greatest trick humans ever pulled was convincing you there wasn't an alien war. If you don't think it's happening, why would you protest it, right? But this idea that humans are engaging, in war with aliens is insane. Because, again, we don't get to protest it. We have no say in it. We have no word in it. Yet people who think they have the control and power and representation of humanity are taking things in their own hands without any regard for what the rest of humanity thinks. Forget just Americans. What about humanity, the globe? And if this secret war is happening, like Danny is, implicating here or implying, that's terrifying. And how do we protest it? We can't protest something we don't even know if it's happening. But if it is happening, we should be protesting. This is ridiculous. We can't let people in power go start wars that we have to take care of. And that essentially happens on Earth right now. So I'm curious what you guys think in the comments. Let me know. Is there an alien-human war happening? And if so, how do we protest something we can't even prove is happening? What do we do? Are we just supposed to lay down and accept the fate that the leaders of the free world take us on? Right? This journey they're just going to take us on, we just take it. We just deal with it. We're kids in the car on a road trip. We have no say. We have no say where we're going, when we stop, what we do, what the game plan is. We're just following orders. I don't know about you, but I don't like this. I don't like the wars we get on planet Earth, much less intergalactic wars with an enemy we know nothing about. So, I don't know. I could go off on this for a minute, to be honest with you. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, every day is a gift, y'all. Peace.